Windsor Castle is one of 3 official residences of the Queen and has been home to the sovereign for more than 900 years. The castle is the largest inhabited castle in the world and the oldest in continuous occupation. Despite its huge size and stately magnificence, Windsor Castle is first and foremost a home for the Queen. Windsor Castle's position on top of steep ground has meant that the castle's gardens are limited in scale. The castle gardens stretch east from the upper ward across a 19th century terrace. The castle has a number of grand rooms. St. George's Hall, for example, which is a Gothic banquet room that hosts state visits and whose ceiling is decorated with knights' coats of arms. The imposing towers and battlements of the castle loom large from every approach to the town, creating one of the world's most spectacular skylines. The private apartments are normally kept away from prying eyes, but this rare glimpse shows the Queen in her sitting room meeting the New Zealand Prime Minister John Key. Set in 13 acres of land, Windsor Town is to the west of the castle, while the playing fields of Eton College are to the north, and Windsor Great Park lies to the south. What strikes many people used to visit historic ruins or attractions with a preservation or museum-like atmosphere is that Windsor Castle is in pristine condition and fully working. The castle itself sits on 13 acres but is surrounded by 2 expensive parks. The first is the private Home Park, which contains Frogmore Cottage, until recently the home of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the Royal Burial Ground, and even a golf course. The immediate area stretching to the east of the castle is a 19th century creation known as the Home Park. The Home Park includes parkland and 2 working farms, along with many estate cottages, mainly occupied by employees and the Frogmore estate. Beyond the castle walls in Home Park is Frogmore. Queen Victoria built a mausoleum at Frogmore after Albert's death, and they are both buried there. It was one of Queen Victoria's favorite places, and she visited often during her long widowhood. The Home Park adjoins the northern edge of the more extensive Windsor Great Park, occupying some 5,000 acres and including some of the oldest broad-leaved woodlands in Europe. In the Home Park, to the north of the castle, stands a private school, St. George's, which provides choristers to the chapel. Eton College is located about half a mile from the castle, across the River Thames, reflecting the fact that it was a royal foundation of Henry VI. There are around 150 people for whom Windsor Castle is their home. The Queen herself is in residence many weekends. Every spring, Queen Elizabeth typically makes the move from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle, a gargantuan 11th century stone fortress about 20 miles outside of London. She stays in residence from mid-March to mid-April for Easter Court, an interval which she receives official state visitors, attends services at St. George's Chapel, and celebrates her birthday on April 21st privately with her family. This year, due to COVID-19 pandemic, things will be royal business as usual. There will be no outside visitors, nor large religious gatherings. The Queen also went to Windsor Castle a week early and will stay later than planned. A sensible precaution, and for practical reasons in the current circumstances, a number of changes are being made to the Queen's diary, Buckingham Palace said in a statement. Her Majesty will move to Windsor Castle for the Easter period on Thursday, 19th of March, 1 week earlier than planned. It is likely the Queen will stay there beyond the Easter period. Like all of the Queen's homes, it is decorated in a traditional English style that's more comfortable and functional than wildly luxurious. The Long Walk, a double-lined avenue of trees, runs for 2.65 miles or 4.26 kilometers south of the castle and is 240 feet or 75 meters wide. The original 17th century elms were replaced with alternating chestnut and plane trees. The impact of Dutch elm disease led to large-scale replanting after 1945. The green drawing room is adorned with emerald upholstered furniture and showcases Cervez porcelain that once belonged to Louis XIV. Dating from the 11th century, the walls of Windsor Castle, including those around the moat garden, were once wooden but were replaced with stone during the reign of King Henry II, who converted the castle into a palace in the late 12th century. The entire castle complex, the lower ward, middle ward with round tower, and upper ward, covers 13 acres. When you include Home Park and Windsor Great Park, the compound covers more than 5,000 acres. Take the time to approach from the long walk for iconic castle views. The changing of the guard, similar to Buckingham Palace, is a stirring show. Windsor Castle houses a priceless collection of works by Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Hans Holbein, and many other old masters. Russell Myers, a known journalist, told Talk Radio, "It's been well known that she actually prefers staying at Windsor Castle. She has stayed there with her husband, Prince Philip, for the past year." He added, "It has had a £360 million refurbishment, so there is political pressure on the Queen to go back to Buckingham Palace and to go back to London. We are told she will be returning there." To the south of the castle is the 1,800-acre Windsor Great Park. One of the most distinctive features of the Great Park is the Long Walk, an expansive tree-lined path that stretches up to Windsor Castle. Adopted by Oliver Cromwell as his headquarters during the English Civil War from 1642 to 1651 and doubling as a prison for captured royalists by the time Charles II came to the throne in 1660. Windsor was in a poor state of repair. Charles began a renovation project to turn it into a grand residence, transforming the state apartments with wood carvings by Grinling Gibbons and painted ceilings by Antonio Verrio. This statue of Charles II was added in 1679. The Baroque style of Charles II remained until King George III decided to give the rooms a neoclassical makeover. George III and later his son George IV also remodeled the exterior of the castle in a Gothic style. Today, St. George's Chapel seats 800 guests, and with its fan-vaulted ceiling and ornate stained glass windows, it is a beautiful place for a wedding. The chapel is a royal peculiar, which means it falls under the direct jurisdiction of the Queen. There are 15th century carved stalls of the knights and young ladies of the garter on each side of the choir. You can only marry there if you are a knight, live at Windsor Castle, live at the College of St. George, or are a royal. 2018 saw the much-anticipated union of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. The streets of Windsor welcomed the couple in a horse-drawn carriage procession. In May 2018, the newlywed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle rode up the Arboreal Avenue. Thousands cheered and waved Union Jacks to celebrate their union, a cinematic moment even more poignant as the two have officially ended their royal lives. The Sussex will use Frogmore as their official residence with permission of Her Majesty the Queen, as they continue to support the monarchy. Harry and Meghan renovated Frogmore to use as their home before moving to the United States. All the chandeliers had been taken down, the glass-fronted cabinets were turned to the wall, the paintings had been removed, and much of the furniture was under dust sheets, wrote Crawford. George IV's restoration of Windsor Castle was so comprehensive that his successors needed to do little. Queen Victoria favored Windsor as her primary residence, and the palace became the focus of the British Empire during her reign. The main entrance to Windsor Castle is at the top of Castle Hill on the right. The address of Windsor Castle is Castle Hill, Windsor, SL4 1PD. Windsor Castle is very easy to find. Coming out from Windsor and Eton Central Station, or Windsor and Eton Riverside Station, the castle walls can be seen in front of you. The size of the castle, 5.3 hectares or 13 acres, is breathtaking. In fact, it is the largest and oldest occupied castle in the world, and it's where the Queen chooses to spend most of her private weekends. Windsor Castle is open to the public 5 days a week, remaining closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tickets must be booked in advance. Tickets for Royal Borough Advantage cardholders are available on the day, subject to availability, or can be pre-booked by telephone only, transaction fee payable. No trip to Windsor could possibly be complete without a visit to amazing Windsor Castle, the family home to British kings and queens for over 1,000 years. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. There will be 2 more videos on the screen we think you'll enjoy. See you in the next video.